this is Anisa Hagi-Mohamed, and I'm so excited to be starting this series on the Somali language, or at least the basics of it. I've had many requests from friends and fellow teachers to help in the process of learning Somali, and I'm very excited and eager to do so because these friends and teachers, they want to communicate better with Somali parents, students, and members in the community, and I would love to help facilitate in that and help them accomplish that goal. So I hope this series is beneficial for you guys and for anyone else who's viewing. So let's start with the Somali alphabet, just like a quick preview of it. So there are 26 letters in the Somali alphabet. 21 of those letters are consonants and 5 are vowels. And so this system is largely phonemic. So there's a one-to-one correspondence between consonant letters and sounds. And with vowels, as you can see on the bottom, there are short and long vowels. And when a vowel is long, it's just doubled. So in many ways, like, the Somali language is very easy to learn in terms of reading. And I taught myself how to read in Somali. And the reason for that is because of that correspondence. And so the interesting fact about this system is that it was introduced in the 1970s, which kind of seems recent, right, compared to other scripts. And there were other Somali scripts in the past. However, in the 1970s, the president at the time, he started a competition and he told linguists, so whoever creates this system in order to promote literacy in the country, it's going to be introduced as the official one. And there was a linguist who used that Latin alphabet system, as you can see, to develop a Somali alphabet system. And his proposal won, and it was made official, and the Somali was made the official language of the country. I think that's a very interesting fact, considering that Somalis have been around for more than 9,000 years, but primarily they were a very oral culture, as many other cultures were, and so traditions and poetry and everything else was passed down orally from generation to generation. And so after this system was introduced in the 1970s, the literacy rates skyrocketed. And at one point, it was like 98% literacy rate in the country, which is pretty amazing in many parts of the country. And let's see if I can say anything else about this alphabet. There are, one thing I'll say is that there are many equivalents for letter sounds in the English language. For example, ba and sa. Ra is more like the Spanish R. If you're familiar with Spanish, it's almost like a rolled R on your tongue. And this is a great segue to my next slide, which is about tricky letters. And I call them tricky because there is really no English equivalent for these letter sounds in English. And so you can find some of these letter sounds in Arabic, which makes a lot of sense because there was a lot of influence between the two languages. And so I'll just go and say each one, and it might sound very difficult at first, but I think with practice, practice makes perfect. And then I'll kind of explain how to produce this sound as much as possible. It's kind of hard when it's just audio and you don't actually see me making the sound, but we'll work with what we have for now. So the first one is a, and this letter sound is made by narrowing the vocal tract. Your tongue is basically going to touch the top of your mouth and close momentarily, just for a second. A. Next one is this one here, which looks like an X, but it's not pronounced like an X at all. And so, in my name, Hagi-Mohamed, my last name, it's actually spelled with an X if it's spelled correctly in Somali. And so it's a hat. And it's almost like something is stuck in your throat and you're trying to get it out. Hat. Next one is similar to this letter sound here. Ha. 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 And this is very similar to the Spanish jota, if you are familiar with Spanish, which I've come to find a lot of people at least have, some exposure to the Spanish language. So it's jota, is the same sound here. And this sound is pronounced with the back of the tongue near the upper part of your mouth. And again, that's ha. This one here, DH, I have difficulty with sometimes myself. And so you can hear it in the word dawo. Dawo. You see how it's kind of like making a clicking sound with my tongue. And basically what you're doing is turning your tongue against, the palate. Da, da. Dawo means closer, which I'm going to explain in a future video. It's part of a greeting. So that is how you say that sound. Da. That letter sound. Da, da. And then the last one here is a Q. Also not at all like the Q in English. Much heavier. It's a qa, qa, qa. Almost like sounds like something's breaking. Qa, qa. And it's exactly the same as in Arabic. And so a word like qaf, qaf, starts with this letter sound. And so I know it sounds like, for some people, might sound impossible. Like, I can't make that. I can't replicate that. I can't repeat after you and say it correctly. But I think, as I said, practice makes perfect. And I just, with any language, just getting our mouths used to making these sounds, which are so unfamiliar. Just keep on, trying your best. And it's the effort that counts. And that's what will matter to Somali people and students that you're trying to communicate with. So yeah, so those are the tricky letters, and I'll wrap it up here for this video. I'm trying to keep every video under a few minutes. So in the next video I'll talk about common Somali greetings. I hope you'll join me, and see you next time. Bye.